Hello everybody and welcome back to the Up the Guts channel. I know it's been a long time since you have seen or heard my voice. I do apologise for that, but we are back now recording some videos and not a podcast today, but what we're going to do is we're going to record some cricket content. Now obviously the first test going on, I made a video about making the predictions of it, and I had Connor have his predictions as well. And us Australians, it's safe to say, didn't probably go the way that we would have liked it to go. That's probably putting it kindly. India came out and surprised the Aussies, and yeah, got a convincing win, over a 200-run win it was. So they got a convincing win. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do a tier list where we're going to do a tier list, ranking each player's performance. So without further ado, let me get the tier list up and we'll get right into it. All right, so as you can see here, I've got the tier list. Now, what I worked out to be, I've got it down in my book over here. What I worked out, S is going to be the one player who I think scored a perfect 10. A, I figured out to be an 8 or 9. And B, I couldn't make it 6 or 7 because I feel like a 6 is too small to be a B. So I'm going to have B as a 7. If people in C column, what I've ranked them, giving them a 5 or 6 out of 10. D, 3 to 4. E, 1 to 2. And an F is a fail. So we'll see if anyone actually makes that fail and who I see as an S column player. So first of all, we're going to start off what I've done here. I've put the Indian team first and the Aussie team second, and going to rank them now, starting now. So in the comments, let me know what you think too. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first one is, and for the Indians, I do apologize. I will say some of their full names, or I'll just say their last name, obviously harder to pronounce. So first off, we had Jaiswal. Now, we knew Jaiswal's reputation coming in over here. Obviously, someone who really likes to attack take the game on, plays an attacking style of cricket. Has hit over 36s in Test cricket this calendar year, I believe I heard, and was also hitting sixes like no tomorrow in the IPL. And in the first innings, like a lot of the other Indian batsmen, he failed and got out for a duck to Mitchell Starc. So that was the first innings. But in the second innings, batted beautifully and showed, even though coming across with that reputation of being real attacking and likes to take the game on, he showed in this second innings that he has another skill set in his batting ability where he can stay there and hang around, and he made a really respectable 161. And for that, I gave him a 9 out of 10, which puts him in the A tier. Now, next up, his fellow opener, KL Rahul. Now, KL Rahul, I thought was really good. Now, obviously, we've seen Rahul, he's been around for a while. He's batted over here in Australia before against the Australian team. Normally in that middle order, that 5 to 6, but with Rohit Sharma staying back for the birth of his second child, KL Rahul was pushed up to the opening position and did really well. Got 26 in the first innings and then 77 in the second innings. But what was really impressive about that 77 is he was almost like mentoring Jaiswal through to his 100, and he did well to stick around. Was really stiff not to get a century himself because he batted beautifully. Did get 77, and I have him at a 7 out of 10, sitting in the B column. And in the third place, I've gone in the batting order. So in the third place, we got Padahal. I can't even read my own writing. But he made a 0 and a 25. It was probably a underwhelming performance. And obviously, Shubman Gill will probably come back in this test, if not the test after. And he's probably one of the ones that I'll look at getting rid of for Shubman Gill to come in and replace. So he got a duck in the first innings and then 25 in the second innings. I gave him a 3 out of 10, which then puts him in the D column. Now, Mr. Virat Kohli coming in, he was in a bit of a form slump, and we thought it was going to continue with that fight, with the 5 in the first innings, getting caught behind to a lazy shot, really just pulling out, half playing a shot, then pulling out. But I was one of them, I'll admit. I made a TikTok and an Instagram reel post saying, point of view when you see Virat Kohli go cheap in the first innings. And I ate my own words because he came out and batted beautifully in the second innings to make 100 not out. So I ended up giving Kohli a 7 out of 10. So he goes in the B column. Next up, Rahul. Rishabh Pant. Obviously, we've seen Rishabh Pant tear Australia apart and other countries apart, and went for, I think, the most in the IPL auction during this week or early this week. Yeah, I believe it was. So Rishabh Pant ended up making 37 and 1 and took the 6 catches. was okay. I gave him a 6 out of 10, maybe a bit generous, but he's going to go in the C column. Next one was Drew. He made 11 and a 1 batting 6. He's probably another one that might make way for Sharma and Gill to come in. And then they'll have a discussion. Does Sharma go straight to the open position? Rahul goes to the middle order. Does Gill bat in the middle order? But he's normally used to batting at 3. But I think Rahul, his position is definitely in very much question. He made 11 and a 1. And I was probably very kind and gave him a 3 out of 10, which puts him in the D column. Next up, we have the all-rounder, Washington Sundar. He made 4 and 29, and then the first innings also took none for 1 off 2, and then 2 for 48 off 15 overs. He was handy. He looked okay. Looked okay in the second innings. Got a start for that 29, but then bowled really well, I thought too. And I ended up giving him a 5 out of 10 for the C. Now, this next person batting at 8, Nitish Kumar Reddy, I was really impressed with his batting. 41 the first innings and really helped him get a respectable score for them to defend, which proved to be a hard batting wicket in that first day. He really held him on down in the bottom order with that 41, and then got 38 not out in the second innings batting in the end with Kohli. Then also none for 4 from 3 and 1 for 21 from 4, but I was more impressed with his batting at 8, showing he is also another all-rounder. I gave him a 6 out of 10, which puts him in the C column. Next up, we had the debutant Harshit Raina. I thought he bowled really well for his debut. He obviously, first innings, 3 for 48 he took, and then 1 for 69 in the second innings. I thought he bowled with real good intent and wasn't as quick as the likes of Bumrah, but still had that good pace and bowled good line and length, good intent, has a good bumper as well. But I thought he just ripped through some of the Aussies. Obviously, that 3 for 48 in the first innings. Yeah, I'm just looking what I gave him here. I ended up giving him a 7 out of 10, which puts him in the B column. I thought he bowled really well, especially for his debut. Next up, Jasprit Bumrah. Before we even get started, Bumrah, S tier straight away, was player of the match. And I've got a comment to make here. Jasprit Bumrah is the best bowler in the world, and there's no question about it. The way he can impact the game, he comes off the short runner, his release point, comes on the bat really quick, he bowls with really good areas, tight bowling, he's super duper quick, and he just worries batsmen. Batsmen don't know how to play him, especially with his release point coming from there. It comes down a lot quicker, they say. But Jasprit Bumrah, the areas he bowls, he consistently terrorizes the batsman, as he did with the Aussies. 5 for 30 off 18 in the first innings and 3 for 42 from 12. That performance to me proved, at the moment, Jasprit Bumrah is the best bowler in the world. Let me know in the comments what you think about that one. But he goes straight into the S tier. He was just phenomenal and got the player of the man of the match honours as well. Mohammad Siraj was also really good. His fellow opening bowler. He took 2 for 20 off 13 in the first innings and 3 for 51 from his 14 in the second innings. I put him as 8 out of 10 in the A column. So as we have a look here, quick rundown of the Indians. I've got Bumrah in the S column. Then I have Jaiswal and Mohammad Siraj in the A column. I got Rahul, Kohli and Raina in the B column. In the C column there, I have Pant, Kumar Reddy and Washington Sundar. Sorry, just having a look at some of the names. And in the D column there, I have was Patahol and Jurul, who will probably make way for the incoming Gill and the skipper, Rohit Sharma. Now we move on to the Aussies. This is where it could get real interesting and it's just not a good look. So let's start off with the opening batsmen. So Usman Khawaja, 8 the first innings and 4 in the second innings. That way he went out in the second innings was horrific. Trying to play a short ball just shows he's out of touch. And I gave him a 2 out of 10, so he goes in the E column. Some of the Aussies, there's not going to be very high scoring in the Aussies here. So we moved on to Nathan McSweeney. I felt real sorry for Nathan McSweeney coming in here. He's not an opening batsman. He has to face the lives of Bumrah, who I class as the best bowler in the world at the moment, and Mohammad Siraj, and then Raina there as well. He got 10 and 0 to a Bumrah ball in the second innings. I think Bumrah got him both times, actually. Just they threw him, and I feel like Usman Khawaja should have taken strike, especially in that second innings when it was the ball was moving. It's all on the line. He's on debut. He's coming up against Bumrah. Aussie, be the senior bloke and take the strike. But because it's his debut, I'll give him put him in the E-column next to his open part, Usman Khawaja. Now, Marnus Labuschagne. 2, 3, and none for 38, 6.3, straight in the F column. He's in a form slump like you wouldn't believe it. Whoever's idea was it for him to come on and bowl medium paces and try and ball bounces? That was horrific bowling. That was disgusting. I'd rather Travis Head bowling than if Marnus is going to come up and dish up that crap. That was just appalling to watch. He was trying to bowl bouncer after bouncer, running in, trying to bowl as fast as he could. If you're going to bowl that, you may as well not bowl him at all and let him focus on his batting, because his batting has gone really downhill too. And if he keeps going, I think there's a potential he could be dropped out of this squad in the series if he keeps going like this. So I'll put him in the F column and see how he responds in the second test. Then we had 4. We had Steve Smith, duck, and 17. He's another one in a form slump, unlike Virat Kohli. Couldn't respond. He's gone in the E column. Travis Head, probably the standout batter. He made 11 and 89 in the second innings. It was a really good 89. Stiff not to get 100. And then none for 26 from 5 in one of the innings as well. I gave him a 5 or 6 out of 10. So it puts him in the C column. And Mitch Marsh, 6 and 47 in the second innings, batted really well with Travis Head, actually. And he actually bowled really well, I thought, especially in that first innings. 2 for 12 and 1 for 65. And for that case, I actually put him in the C column as well with a 6 out of 10, because I thought he was respectable. Alex Carey, 21 and 36, made starts, was the informed batsman coming in. There's an informed Aussie batsman coming in, as all the commentators were talking about. Got starts in both innings, 21 in the first, 36 in the second. Took 5 catches with the gloves and 1 stumping. So I gave him a 5 out of 10, which puts him in the C column. Paddy Cummins, now 2 for 67 and 1 for 86. Wasn't his best performance, was it? Not the Pat Cummins that we're used to, especially in the summers previous. And I don't know what it is. I actually gave him a 4, which puts him in the D column. That really hurts to put Pat Cummins like that. Mitchell Starc, who I thought bowled extremely well in the first innings, 2 for 14. But then in the second innings, 1 for 111. Made 26 and 12. Stayed there and held up an end in the first innings when it looked like they were going to be all out. Didn't put as much runs on it, but did hold an end up to keep him out a bit longer. But if we were going off the first innings, I would have nearly gave him a C to a B. But the second innings, 1 for 111, 26-12. I ended up giving him a 4 out of 10, which puts him in the D column. Now, I've got Joshy Hazelwood next. Should be Nathan Lyon, but Joshy Hazelwood, 4 for 29 and 1 for 28. Bowled extremely well in that first innings, so I'm going to put him in the C column, which was a 5 out of 10. And Nathan Lyon, none for 23, then 2 for 96. Brought himself back a bit in that with that 2 for 96, but puts him in the D column. So there you have it, guys. There are my rankings. We'll have a look at it. The standalone S tier player, Jasprit Bumrah, the best bowler in the world at the moment. Jaiswal and Mohammad Siraj in the A column. In the B column, we've got Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, and Harshit Raina. And in the C column, we got Rashid Pant, Washington Sundar, Nitish Kumar Reddy, there, Travis Head, Mitch Marsh, Alex Carey, and Josh Hazelwood. And in the D column, we have got the 2 batsmen who I think will make way for the Indian side in Pandahal and Jarul, alongside the Aussies, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, Nathan Lyon. In the E column, I got the 2 openers for the Aussies, which is unfortunate to say, Usman Khawaja and the debutant Nathan McSweeney. Steve Smith also there. In the F column is Marnus Labuschagne. Guys, there are my rankings for the first test. Let's hope in the second test the Aussies can bounce back and level up the series 1-1, and some of them can respond with the likes of Marnus Labuschagne, who is on thin ice in that squad, I reckon, at the moment. So we'll look forward to that second test, and I'll be back with the rankings for the second test with hopefully the scoreline of the series reading 1-1. See you then.